So there has been certain areas of innovation where we see apparent acceleration. And the two things that come at the top of my mind are education and the global supply chain. What's your view on that, Jeremy?
Well, I mean, interestingly, before Covid-19, the education world, education tech was in all, in the best will in the world, it was not the hottest ticket in town. But all of a sudden, it has become that, it's become far more important, really important. The failures of education tech have really been brought to bear globally in terms of, the pandemic and schools being locked down and homeschooling, and then obviously remote schooling as well. And all of a sudden, the massive inconsistencies in how different schools and different countries actually do the remote learning has brought about an idea in entrepreneurs' minds and in business and the technology and the education industry's minds that there is a tremendous opportunity here to address these issues and try and actually fix them. And AI is being brought to bear on that as well. Like some companies are working on having AIs produce individual learning plans for individual students, for example. But that seems quite a long way away. Right now, we're just trying to get to a stage where you can actually reach all of your students remotely and give a very good and competent and comprehensive homeschooling experience. What wasn't the case before is that people just didn't consider this to be something that was a major sector. Now, everybody realizes this is a huge business going forward. And some companies in ed tech are actually offering their services free right now in order to rapidly increase their client base and consumer base. So after this period is over, people will be far more familiar with using education technology and also, therefore, much more willing to adopt what it can actually do. So they're, again, using this period as an opportunity to spread the word and show what is possible with education technology. So it's rapidly changed.
Thanks for your insights on education, Jeremy, but what about the global supply chain?
One of the areas that companies are looking at, and have indeed were before this, so again, this is only going to be accelerated, is using blockchain in the supply chain. So for example, this is where it will allow you to have smart contracts where if you have something that's on board a container tanker or on a ship, when it is loaded, that contract will then immediately update itself, and then you will be able to see what progression where everything will be taking place, where that container is throughout the world. When it docks, when it's delivered successfully, the contract will automatically resolve itself, payment will be made automatically. This is automation with the supply chain, of course. All of this is being taken place using AI and automating processes to radically change your supply chain. So I think, in short, the answer is that supply chains will be changed radically because there will be a shrinkage in globalization, but also they'll be changed radically because of that automation aspect to supply chains coming in, taking that work away from the humans involved so they can go out and be more creative and do better things. And also the supply chain will be far more robust as a result.
Reflecting on what you just have said, Jeremy, reminds me of one of our projects that we've actually worked on that is actually now deployed and working perfectly well, and that's our blockchain initiative in ADNOC. It was 3 years ago. We sat down and we thought about it and we said, how can we today track our molecules all the way from our reservoirs, all the way to fleet management? It is what it is. It's automating your, supply chain and being able to track it efficiently, effectively, and understand momentarily and every time throughout the value chain where you're at and what the opportunities are of making it an efficient and an effective production scheme.
Absolutely, it's so important. I mean, in its purest essence, a blockchain is basically just a distributed ledger, a list that everybody has access to. And what it's great for is provenance, is showing you where things came from, where they are, and
transparency.
Exactly, it's transparency, and that's and then that data can be used to trick certain other things in the automating process. And as I say, smart contracts is a very underutilized area of blockchain technology, but companies are waking up to this fact and realizing what they can actually do. And also stipulations can be made to these contracts as well. If something is delayed in in shipping. That can be part of the contract where the price will dynamically alter depending on when it actually arrives. If it's a chilled container, for example, and it's noticed that sensors on board that container have dipped below or above certain temperatures that they're meant to maintain, then that smart contract can then be altered on the fly completely without any human intervention. So all this is possible right now. That's what's so exciting about it. And that's also what's exciting about this situation we're in, if we want to look positively on it, is that this is the current pandemic, and COVID-19 is actually bringing to bear, highlighting all these technologies that are available right now and are ripe for adoption, and companies are looking to do that. And the companies that do are really putting themselves in a great position.
Thank you very much, Jeremy, for the interesting conversation today. It was a pleasure having you on board, and thank you again.
Thank you very much indeed.